Zamenti, if you'd come and join us, please. Special Rotary presentation. Frank is the Rotary International Regional Head, South Pacific and Philippines Office of Rotary, and he has some awards to present. Mate.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, separate from tonight's police awards, Rotary has a number of others. We'll be making two tonight. Held in high esteem amongst them is the Paul Harris Fellow, and is presented to non-Rotarians as well as Rotarians. The Paul Harris Fellow is named for Paul Harris. Paul Harris founded Rotary with 3 business associates in Chicago in 1905. The Paul Harris Fellows was established in his honour in 1957 to express appreciation for a contribution of $1,000 to the humanitarian educational programs of the Rotary Foundation. Those programs include an array of projects that save and invigorate the lives of people around the world and enhance international friendships and understanding. Foundation programs provide educational opportunities, food, portable water, healthcare, immunisations, especially polio, which is our number one priority, and shelter for millions of people. These activities are funded, implemented and managed by Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the globe. For the first award, I'd like to call upon District Governor David Rance, representing District 9680, to the stage to present the award. And I'd like to announce the winner. Thanks, David. Announce the winner. The first winner is Glenn Galea. You can come to the stage. Glenn Galea was amongst the 155 New South Wales police officers who were deployed to Queensland in January 2011 to support the Queensland Police Service's response following the devastating floods that struck the state at that time. During his patrol in Brisbane, Glenn met a resident who had been rescued only days prior from the floodwaters that inundated his home and left him with no belongings. The resident was now covered in mud and struggling with the enormous task of cleaning what was left of his property without power or food. Immediately, Glenn sourced food for the resident and continued to do so throughout his shift, checking on the resident's progress and spirits. Glenn continued to help the resident over the following shifts, providing a donation of portable cooking equipment from a local store and providing to the resident who was overwhelmed by Glenn's kindness and generosity of spirit. His kindness and concern was not limited to his shifts, and during his off-duty hours, Glenn assisted Queensland police officers to clean their own homes, which had been affected by the floodwaters. The kindness and concern Glenn displayed for the resident and his fellow Queensland police officers demonstrates the very best of community policing in action. Tonight, the Rotary Club of Sydney recognises Glenn as a Paul Harris Fellow in acknowledgement of his outstanding contribution to the New South Wales Police Force, exemplifying the Rotary motto of service above self. And it gives me great pleasure to present Glenn with his medallion. Distinguished guests and officers, please join me in congratulating Glenn Galea. Say a few words,
Yeah, so thank you very much, obviously, to Rotary, obviously, for putting this evening on. So I was privileged to go up to Queensland and assist our counterparts from the South Australian and the Victorian and the Queensland Police to help the people who were affected by the floods. I mean, when I went up there, like I saw it on the telly, and I mean it was a disaster. But when I actually got down there, and the first place I was tasked to was St Lucia, and just driving around and I seen mud over the roofs of the houses, and I thought, well, this is pretty hardcore, and the smell, like every copy out there knows this, you'll never get rid of the smells. So, yeah, I just saw this gentleman, and his name was Richard. And, I mean, what do we do? I mean, we're all humans at the end of the day. And, I mean, like, I joined the cops. I mean, everyone wants to join the cops to drive fast and lock up crooks. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, just to help the community. So, like, I work general duties policing, and I always will work general duties policing. And, I mean, I enjoy the job more now than I did when I first started. So, I mean, yeah, so, yeah, thank you very much. So,
Thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you. For the second award, the second Rotary Paul Harris Fellow Award, I'd like to invite Phil White, District Governor Phil White, representing District 9750, on the stage to present the award. And the award for the second Paul Harris Fellow goes to Justin Morgan. Justin Morgan joined the New South Wales Police Force in May 1995 and has just over 16 years service. From the 25th of February to the 10th of March 2011, Justin was deployed overseas after being selected to serve as part of the Operation Munro. I hope I said that right. Assisting the earthquake district relief effort in Christchurch, New Zealand. Upon deployment, he, along with 53 officers in his team, worked a 28-hour shift to allow respite for the local Christchurch police. While in New Zealand, Justin took the first opportunity he had to commence fundraising activities to assist the earthquake New Zealand Police Association relief appeal. Initially, his fundraising efforts were amongst the New South Wales Police Force deployment. Then, after forging a close association with the University of Canterbury Rugby Club during his off-duty hours, Justin expanded his fundraising efforts further. Through his relationship, Justin secured donations of sought-after rugby memorabilia, which was auctioned for the New Zealand PA relief appeal, including an All Blacks jersey signed by Captain Dan Carter and a signed Canterbury Super 15s jersey. On the 9th of March, Justin organised a farewell fundraising function and barbecue at the University of Canterbury Rugby Club for all the Australian police officers who were deployed at this time, as well as local police and emergency service workers. Justin showed an enormous amount of enthusiasm and commitment to continually raise funds from the Australian police deployment, mostly conducted during his limited time off duty. He was a standout individual during an extraordinary and historical deployment for the New South Wales Police, and he displayed selflessness and community spirit that is synonymous with Rotary values and worthy of the Paul Harris Fellow for 2011. Tonight, the Rotary Club of Sydney recognises Justin as the Paul Harris Fellow in acknowledgement of his outstanding contribution to the New South Wales Police Force, exemplifying the Rotary motto of service above self. And it gives me great pleasure to present Justin with his medallion. I would like to ask District Governor Phil White to present him with his ribbon and medallion. Like to say a few words?
Last Friday night I was working at Glebe, breaking up a house party of about 150 people, and let me tell you, I felt more comfortable there than I do tonight. Like every nominee tonight, I'm extremely humbled by the nomination, and I cannot comment about how humble I do feel tonight. When we were first selected to go to New Zealand, I thought that was the honour in itself. We're representing the New South Wales Police Service, second time in our history we've ever gone to New Zealand to help our Anzac mates in their time of grief. I thought that was the biggest bit of honour that anyone could be bestowed upon as a serving member of the service. After doing a couple of weeks over there, we all left, coming back via the airport, and we got a standing ovation at the airport. Every single person at the airport just clapped us for the work we did. It was just an awesome experience. And to the commander, Mr. Mitchell, you're an absolute champion. Without your leadership skills, New Zealand would not have been a success. I have no hesitation in saying that. You had the respect, the support of every single member under your command. And if you had asked us to jump, we would not have asked how high. We'd just jumped as high as we could. So, Mr. Mitchell, you're a champion. I think there was about 120 of the New South Wales police went over there, and I know a lot of this award was for the money we raised, but to be honest, the money was nothing. Once you see the devastation that our Kiwi mates had over there, I know they've knocked us out of the Rugby World Cup, but the result might have been different. But no, once you saw the devastation over there, every single person coughed up the cash. They wanted to help the people, and we had a great ball. So I accept this award, not on behalf of myself, but on behalf of the whole New Zealand contingent, and I thank you very much. I am very humbled.